I'm Robert Walker, and this is my speech on legally carrying guns for self-defense. Here's my audience.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hey, Anisha.
I'm Gwen.
Derek.
Jeremy.
Welcome, everybody. First, I'd like to tell you a story that I found on NPA.org. This is Daryl Stanberry, a Detroit citizen. Daryl was driving one night and he decided to get gas for his vehicle. He pulled up to a pump and began walking into the store. Before he could go into the doors, he looked back and noticed a young man sitting in the driver's side of his vehicle. Daryl then went back to his car and asked the young man to get out of his vehicle. The young man looked at Daryl, told him to step back, and reached into his front pocket. Daryl then decided to unholster his Sig Sauer 45 and fired one round into the vehicle. The young man drove away immediately after and later crashed into a tree. Officers, when they arrived on the scene, they found the young man dead in the front seat from the one wound to the torso, and they also found a gun in his pocket. Daryl now says he's afraid to go to gas stations at night, and it's because he had a crime committed against him. As a former police officer, I'm all too familiar with the problem of increased crime rates around the country. And my training and research has shown me that people tend to feel unsafe in certain places, such as gas stations, parking decks, parking garages, and even sometimes at home. The cause of the increased crime rates or people feeling unsafe is that there has also been an increase in gangs and violent crimes. Today, I would like to offer my starting solution to this long-time issue, which is the adaptive policy that would enhance training for individual gun owners. Think back to when you decided to get your driver's license. You probably went out with your parents or sibling and wanted to practice driving each day. You practiced turning left, turning right, using your turn signals and parallel parking. The reason you did this is so when the day came for you to take your driver's test, you'll be perfect. You'll be able to pass with flying colors. When it comes to gun safety, the situation that Daryl went through was his test, and he was able to pass it. I personally have a concealed carry and have undergone extensive training for firearm use. I additionally have done a lot of training and research regarding firearm use and personal safety, and I look forward to sharing some of that with you. Additionally, today I will discuss the problem, which is crime rates that have gone up and people feeling unsafe in certain areas, the cause of the problem, and I will propose a policy proposition which will serve as a starting point for the solution. Crime rates have gone up and people feel unsafe in certain locations. Technology has made it easier for individuals to see how crime affects their community. Today you can go online and see videos of not only robberies but also assaults being committed. This graphic represents a visual graphic of how many times particular words came up in some research that I conducted in this project. As you can see, the research I've found for today's presentation will focus on helping pursue solutions for citizens and people to use self-defense in order to train people to combat crime. Crime statistics from the FBI's Uniform Crime Reporting Program show that crime is going up. In fact, there was a 3.9% increase in violent crimes last year alone. The National Crime Victimization Survey is a survey that obtains information from households about crime incidents. This survey showed that more than 1 in 10 property crimes occurred in parking lots and garages. It is critical that the increased crime rates and the general feeling of not being safe need to be combated at this time. In 2014, less than a third of the homes in the U.S. had a gun for self-defense. There's been a 10% drop since then. The current policies and procedures are not making progress with large issues. We need to continue to make progress towards making smart gun laws. Currently, each state has different laws regarding obtaining weapons, whether they're open or concealed, and also the background checks that are required before purchasing those guns. Let's talk a little about the cause of this. Increase of gangs, violent crimes, and slow police response time have been contributors to the problem. The National Gang Center, which is operated by the federal government, shows that there's approximately 850,000 gang members that we know of, which is an 8.6% increase in the last year. As crime rates rise, it is important for citizens to be aware of options for self-defense. For example, if you live in a rural area and you wake up one day to someone breaking into your home, odds are the police or deputies in your area will not be able to reach you in time. Since there is no law, because of this, dispatchers tend to get calls after incidents occur. Citizens should depend on themselves if they were properly trained to use firearms in the right situations. My solution to this problem is to adopt a policy that will require enhanced and easily accessible training for gun owners in order to help them use guns efficiently and effectively in order to strengthen their self-defense skills. Right now, training is only required for concealed carry, and if you open carry, all you need to do is obtain a firearm, which you can do legal. As long as you can do legally, you don't have to. It doesn't require training. The policy, since there's currently no law for open carry, many people have a gun and have never been taught how to use them correctly. This needs to change because if you don't know how to correctly use a firearm, it can make a bad situation worse. Let's go back to the story about the gentleman, Daryl, at the gas station. He had a problem because of a crime that was being committed against him. As we discussed, these crime statistics are going up. We need to change in policy in order to correct this. When you think about your family, ask yourself, how would your wife, your child, your mother, your father, brother, and sister, how would they do if someone tried to rob or mug them? Would they be prepared? Would they know how to react? Would you? I urge you to learn more about this policy in order to make a difference in the community. Thank you.